In my last blog on critical thinking in essence, I made the point that to be a good critical thinker, you need to first be a good listener. And to use essence effectively in a thinking capacity, you need to first know how to use it as a root cause analysis tool. One of my readers commented and asked if I could give an example. So in this blog, I'm going to give an example of how I used essence in what I refer to as stealth mode to aid critical thinking and help solve a cybersecurity challenge for one of my clients. By stealth mode, I mean using the framework in the back of my head to guide a conversation. Stealth mode is an effective way to achieve one of the values of essence without forcing it on a client. And it's not difficult to use because the checklists are worded in such a way that they support natural conversation. I started the conversation by asking a client team member if they could explain the problem they faced. When I ask this question, in the back of my head, I am thinking about the opportunity alpha, solution needed state, checklist, problems, and root causes identified. I often like to start a conversation using this checklist because it helps me listen first to make sure I understand the problem the client faces before offering an approach to solve the problem. My client team member replies, and I just let him talk as I listen. And as you can see, he has a lot to say. He tells me, we've been tasked to develop a new system using a proprietary algorithm our company developed. Management has given our team an extremely aggressive schedule, but they also want us to make sure the system can't be brought down by a known competitor who will be doing everything possible to convince our customers our system is not reliable. We also need to protect the algorithm so our competitors can't use it. What makes this challenge even tougher is that we only have a small team of developers and have been told we can't get any more resources. To be honest, most of our team members feel we have been given an impossible task, and as a result, our team morale is not good. After listening, I understand part of the problem, but I don't want to jump to a solution until I understand more about what's going on. So I continue digging deeper by asking the client team member to explain their design approach. Specifically, I ask, are you using any COTS products or any legacy software? Or are you relying on any key subcontractors? In the back of my head, when I ask these questions, I am thinking about the software system alpha, architecture selected state, checklist, buy, build, reuse decisions made, and stakeholder alpha, represented state, responsibilities agreed, collaboration approach agreed, way of working supported and respected. These checklists get at critical dependencies that can affect a critical aggressive schedule and the protection of proprietary information. Any dependencies on external organizations can affect both a critical schedule and the safeguarding of critical proprietary information, especially information that needs to be protected from competitors. Once again, my client team member responds, and I listen. Our planned approach includes a mix of new development, reuse, and COTS. We have a legacy system that we are planning to reuse, but we need to add considerable new functionality, and we are planning to use one subcontractor that has expertise that is critical to our design approach. We are also using a number of COTS products in our development environment. This response leads me to wonder if the subcontractor and the COTS developers can be trusted. In the back of my head, I'm thinking about the team alpha, collaborating state, checklist, team works as one unit. And I'm thinking about the way of working alpha, principles established state, checklists, team actively supports principles, and stakeholders agree with the principles. During this discussion, I learned that the subcontractor and the COTS developers, the COTS product vendors, both also work for that competitor who will be out to discredit my client's product. Immediately in the back of my head, the risk indicator goes up. And as I'm thinking about the work alpha, under control state, risks under control. At this point, I start to formulate the approach that I am going to recommend, which includes the establishment of principles to restrict access to critical proprietary information to only trusted individuals with a need to know. And I'm also thinking that team members will need to agree to these principles and be trained in how to ensure they actively support these principles. I then ask the team member if they could tell me about the quality of the legacy system. The team member replies, "Our legacy system does have a number of known bugs, but we have worked closely with our customers, giving them acceptable workarounds." I reply, "You have a different situation now. Your competition will exploit your product vulnerabilities by highlighting them to potential new customers if you don't fix them. You don't have time or budget to fix everything, so I recommend that you use a red team to identify the critical bugs and place a priority on fixing the critical ones now that the team agrees they can fix within the current cost and schedule constraints." In the back of my head, as I make this recommendation, I'm thinking about the software system alpha, usable state, system performance acceptable, and defect levels acceptable checklists. And I'm thinking about the work alpha, prepared state, checklists, commitments made, cost and effort estimated. A credible plan is in place. I next ask the team member, "Do you have all the skills you need, such as programming languages, tools?" The team member replies, "The people we have only know C and C++, which is the language most of the legacy system is written in, but they don't know Java, which is the preferred language for all new development in our company." I reply, "We will have to explain to your management that with the aggressive schedule, the team doesn't have time to learn a new language. We need to use the capabilities of the current team we have. This is just one more trade-off that we need to make to solve your challenge." As I make this recommendation, in the back of my head, I'm thinking about the team alpha, formed state, individual responsibilities accepted, and aligned to competencies. My client team member replies, "I like this approach, and I am starting to see how our team can now meet this challenge. And this will help the team morale, because the team will see that the goal is now achievable." In the back of my head, as my client replies, I'm thinking about the essence leadership competency definition, the ability to inspire inspire and motivate a group of people to achieve a successful conclusion to their work and to meet their objectives. If you take away just one key point from this video blog, I hope it is that Essence doesn't give your team answers to specific challenges like cybersecurity, but it can help you ask the right starting point questions that trigger the deeper questions and discussions your team needs to be having to get to the root causes of your challenges and to put a credible plan in place given your situation. A follow-up question I received when I explained this situation in a recent training course was, how can Essence help with the types of cyber threats faced by the U.S. Department of Defense, including foreign adversaries trying to steal advanced technology or disrupt critical defense missions? In answering this question, I pointed out that while the cybersecurity example provided in this video blog isn't based on a specific DoD cyber threat, it would not be difficult to modify the example to address such a situation. As I answered this question, in the back of my head, I was thinking about the definition of the way of working alpha, the tailored set of practices and tools used by team members to guide and support their work. And that is the idea behind all of the scenarios and case studies I provide in my Essence in Use training. They are models that are intended to be tailored to address the specific needs of a client's situation. And for those who have taken the Certified Essence in Use Practitioner Training course, a good question for you to think about is this a type 1 or type 2 problem that has been explained in this video blog? And I hope you get the answer. It is a type 1 because the challenges that we've given you here, the response, the actions need to be taken immediately. With type 2 challenges, those are actually tougher and the solutions are not as straightforward. There isn't a clear-cut answer. In the Essence in Use training course, multiple type 2 case studies are provided as well as more type 1. For more information on Essence training to aid critical thinking, along with related case studies and examples, refer to www.essence-in-use.com. As always, feedback is encouraged. Thank you.